Hi everyone, it's Arlene from Arlene's Creations, and today we're going to be rolling, baking, and flooding cookies. So, the other day when I made my cookie dough, I refrigerated it in both two big mounds. And today I have just taken it out, cut it into slabs, and just have it here on this parchment paper. What I did here was I put a silicone mat on my countertop. It kind of helps the sticks from sliding around a little bit, not much, but the reason why I have these sticks, and I bought these at AC Moore in their wood section, it's like to put a sign on and put it in your ground, is because I like my cookies all to be the same thickness, and I like this thickness that it comes in. I forget what it is. I think it's 3/8 of an inch. So when you roll out your cookie dough, if you have one on either side, the pin just goes on the wood and makes the cookie dough one flat, thickness, as you can see. So you got to roll the rolling pin on top of the wood. So as you can see, I'm just rolling my dough. I have parchment paper underneath and parchment paper on top. This way I don't have to add flour and get the the cookie dough to a different consistency. So now these cookies I'm going to be making are plaque cookies. I have this design, I have the round design, I have this one, I have this one, I have this one, I have a rectangle, and then because I wanted to see how my ugly sweater cookies are going to come out, I'm just going to make a couple of these so I can do them before I have to do a whole bunch in a couple weeks for my niece Desiree. But for my cousin Catherine, her Thanksgiving cookies that she needs, I'm going to do the circle, this plaque, and this plaque. Because these are like the bigger cookie cutters, and then this one is smaller, this one is smaller, so I'm not going to do those. Even the rectangle is a little bit smaller, I think. So after you roll out your dough, you're just going to take your cookie cutter and press. I should be able to get 2 circles out of this, okay. And then what I like to do is I like to take the excess dough from around the cookie, and you put that to the side, and then with one of these, with one of these offset spatulas, you can just lift your cookie up off of the parchment paper. And then you put it onto your cookie sheet, which I have over here. So I usually do 6 cookies per tray. My oven is already heated up to 350 degrees. So I'm just going to make a couple more cookies here. Put them on the cookie sheet. We'll roll out some more. I'm just trying to make this a real quick video because I have so many to roll out and do. And then I have an Etsy order. I don't know if any of you know that watch my channel, but I have an Etsy page called Lathers and Lace Soap Company. And I sell homemade soaps and creams and scrubs and all kinds of stuff. So I do have a Etsy order that I have to get done to mail out tomorrow. Some baby soaps for a baby shower. Which my baby soaps are adorable. They're just very, very time consuming to do. Alright. So I'm just gonna, I need one more cookie for this tray. Now after I'm done rolling out one more cookie, I'm gonna pop that tray in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes as I continue to roll out cookies, because I have 3 trays that I can do at a time. So those are going to go in the refrigerator for about 10 to 15 minutes, then in the oven because I want them ice cold before they start to bake. So again, parchment paper on top, parchment paper on the bottom. rolling pin. This is actually an old-fashioned rolling pin that I bought at a garage sale for like $2. I just loved it. It's an antique. And the end opens up, and you're supposed to put ice cubes inside of it so that it keeps the rolling pin cold and it keeps the dough cold. But I never do that. So again, you want to roll. Then you want to cut. No. Maybe I'll get my sweater out of this one. Yeah, okay. Alrighty. Alright, so I'm just going to continue to roll and cut, roll and cut, roll and cut. As you can see, I have 6 on here. I'm going to throw this into the refrigerator, like I said, for 10 to 12, maybe 15 minutes. Once it's nice and cold, I'm going to put it in the oven for 12 minutes. I'm going to check them. And because the recipe calls for 13 to like 14 minutes to cook them, but I don't like cooking them that long. I like a softer cookie just right before it's ready to turn brown. So I'm constantly watching them. All right, so I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. I rolled out a ton of cookies, baked them off. I have two ovens going. So I have 2 racks in the oven. I have a rack in the refrigerator. And as you can see, my cookies, see how they're just barely brown? Just starting to get brown on the bottom. That's how I like my cookies. Because then, well, these got a little bit more brown, but they're still nice and soft. But that's how I like them, where they are just getting brown. These aren't baked yet. I don't have room in the refrigerator, so I have to wait for the other ones to come out to put these into the refrigerator so that these can get cold before I put them in the oven. And I just wanted to show you all these cookie cutters, all these plaque cookie cutters, because all these cookies I'm going to be stenciling for Thanksgiving. And all of these cookie cutters I got from the Cookie Countess. So that's the cookiecountess.com. And she has a wonderful array of stencils and cookie cutters and the stencil colors to put in the airbrush machine. And just so many different items. But all of these came from... Okay, one of these is done. Let me just shut this off. Which one was that? Oh no, that was the oven. All these came from the cookiecountess.com. The name is Hillary and John, and they run a beautiful little web page over there. Everything cookies. Plus, she has tons of videos that you can watch how she decorates. Also, who I like to watch, because trust me, I am no cookie decorator. I've only just started doing cookies. So, but people were asking me, why don't you, because they love my cookies. So they were like, oh, what? You know, you should do a video. Why don't you do a video? I want to know how to do them. Like, so many people, quite a few people have asked. So that's the only reason why I decided to do this. Otherwise, I would not be making a video on how to make cookies because, trust me, I am no cookie maker. But, so who I actually learned from was on YouTube. I was just watching a whole bunch of videos. You can go to, like I said, the Cookie Countess. You can go to Julia Usher. It's actually Julia M. Usher, and her stuff is gorge. Like, she's, I think, like the top cookie person in the world. Her stuff is ridiculous. And then there's Montreal Confections. And then there's Sweet Ambs. AMBS, I believe it is. And then there's so many of them. You just search in the search bar on YouTube how to decorate or royal icing cookies, sugar cookies, and so many of them come up. And that's how I learned. So yeah, so I'm just finishing baking these off, cooling those, and then tonight I will be showing you how I flood them, and then they have to dry for 24 hours, and then I'll be stenciling. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I'll be back with the other part of the video. Bye. Alright, so now I'm flooding the cookies. So as you can see, I have my whole tray here of all my cookies that I baked. I already started flooding some. And what you do is you make royal icing. Now my royal icing recipe is 2 pounds. It's a 2-pound bag of confectionery sugar, 6 tablespoons of meringue powder, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, pure vanilla extract, and then I just add about 1/4 cup of warm water, and you beat it with your mixer in the bowl until it's really stiff and it turns nice and white, and it's really stiff, like almost like glue. And that's what people call it, is royal icing glue. So then from that glue is what you make your different consistencies with. So flooding consistency, the way they, the cookie experts call it, is like 15-second icing. So if you could see this, how it drizzles, and then it basically takes 15 seconds for it to totally go back to its flat self. This one, let me see exactly how many seconds this one is. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. This one is about, I would say, 13 seconds. It's a little bit thinner. But that's how you want it for your flooding. Now, if you were just to be piping with a piping bag onto these cookies, of course you would need the icing much thicker, because if you were to pipe this, it's only going to spread out. It's not going to hold its shape, whatever shape you want it to pipe. What? What are you going downstairs for? What? Alright, I'm sorry. My husband interrupted me there for a quick second. Alright, so now, once you get your icing to the flooding consistency, like I said, which is like 13 to 15 second icing, what you want to do is take some icing. You could always add more, but you don't want to add too much, because then it's just going to be all over the place. And some people pipe it on with a piping bag. They pipe at the outer circle first and then fill it. But sometimes I do that. Today I'm not. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your Scribe tool. This I got from the Cookie Countess. And you can use a trussing needle. You can use a toothpick, a wooden skewer. But what you want to do is just go not all the way to the edge, but almost. And just go around with your Scribe tool. And keep turning the cookie and keep moving the icing to the edge. And then if you see all these little dots, those are air bubbles. You just want to pop them. And like I said, you don't need one of these fancy schmancy Scribe tools. You can use a toothpick, you can use a trussing needle that they use to, tie up the turkey with. You can use, you know, basically anything. Anything that's thin and has a point. So, and that's it. That's how you flood a cookie. Like this on the paper towel. Yeah, all right. Then you just set it aside to dry. And these are going to have to dry for at least, I don't know, you can dry them anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 hours. I'm going to be airbrushing on them. So I'm going to dry them overnight until tomorrow. I'm not going to airbrush them until tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. And then my cousin needs them by Tuesday. Because Thanksgiving, well, she goes to school for her teachers at her job. And I think that's going to be too much icing. I could tell by looking at it. Anyway, yeah, so this way they'll dry for a whole day. Then I can airbrush them tomorrow night and wrap them and deliver them to her by Tuesday night. I can already tell that there's too much. Going to take some off and put it back into the container. Like I said, if I need more, I can put more on. Just wipe it off here on the paper towel. You know, they take time to learn how to do, to get the right consistency and to learn how much to put on. I'm still learning. Like I said, I'm no cookie expert. You know, they take a while to do, time consuming, but if you do them right, you can make beautiful cookies. And the reason why I started doing cookies was, you know, for the baby shower that I'm going to be doing for my niece. I just wiped that off. I'm going to be doing snowflakes and polar bears for the Winter Wonderland theme. And I had gone online to Etsy because I was just going to buy them. But I need like 80. I want to do like 80 of each. So everybody gets a polar bear and a snowflake. That's going to take me a long time. Maybe I'll do 40 and 40. I don't know, got to see how that goes. But when I was online at Etsy, you know, they were kind of expensive. They were like $3 a cookie. And then with the shipping. So I was like, who has, you know, almost $400 for cookies? I said, that's crazy. So I said, you know what? I got a couple months. I said, let me learn how to make them myself. So I just watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos. Like I said, shake out. Julia Usher is like the cookie master. Oh my word, you gotta look at her cookies. Absolutely gorgeous. And then there's Montreal Confection, and then there's the Cookie Countess, where I got the Scribe tool from, and where I got the cookie cutters. And when I stencil them, when I airbrush them tomorrow, you'll see the stencils that I bought from her. I'll show you. And that's how you flood a cookie. And you just keep doing them all. This one's a square one. Rectangle, I mean. And it's the same with any shape. Just put the icing down. Now, I'm going to have to make more icing tomorrow morning. So actually, when I make more icing, I'll show you how I make it. Because because I'm not going to do this video in a whole bunch of different parts. You know, I did the cookie recipe separate, but this video is going to be of, you know, how I cut them and rolled them and cut them and baked them, and now flooding them, and then tomorrow airbrushing them. So that's all, this is all going to be one video. But maybe I'll just do quick, like a minute or two on when I make the royal icing. And you can flavor this icing if you want with like lemon or almond. Wipe that off on the paper towel, or anything that you want, but because I'm making them for my cousin, she's going to be handing them out. You don't know what people have, like nut allergies, so you know, I'm just keeping it with the vanilla. I don't want to do like a almond extract or anything like that. Trying to clean up the edges a little bit, and there you have it. I'll wash my hands. See, now this one even had a little bit too much icing on it. As you can see, it starts to overflow off the sides, which you don't want, because you want the sides to be nice. But like I said, I'm still, you know, learning. I'm not perfect at it. And so that's how you flood a cookie. I'm not going to bore you doing more. But, as you can see, I have quite a few done so far. And, yeah, so that's how you flood them. Alright, talk to you later. Bye. Hi everyone, it's Arlene, and now I'm going to show you how I stencil my cookies. So this is actually a flooded cookie that's totally hard. It's dried overnight for over like 12 to 18 hours. You want that. You cannot do airbrushing on a cookie that is not totally dried overnight. So now my stencils I get from the Cookie Countess. I don't know if you can see this. So it's the cookiecountess.com. She actually sells the Airbrush system. She sells the Airbrush colors, the stencils, the cookie cutters. She sells a lot of stuff on her site. It's her and her husband. It's Hillary and John, and I just love their stencils. So, and she sells these magnets as well. So what you want to do is you want to get some kind of a metal tray or your metal baking sheet that you cooked your cookies on. And you want to grab a couple of, now these magnets come like this, and your hands will get dirty from the airbrush unless you want to wear gloves. But what I do is I stack two magnets together so that it's the height of the cookie. And then today I'm going to be stenciling this that says Happy Thanksgiving. It's actually going to come out like that, but then I'm going to put the stencil back on and then stencil the leaves and the pumpkin orange. So you'll see how I do that. So now I'm just going to lay my stencil on, and you try to get it where you want it, nice and even in the middle. I like to put my magnets out towards the edge. Alright, so I just had to answer the phone real quick. That was my cousin Maureen. Alright, so now as you can see on here, I place the stencil where I think is going to be like right in the center. And now I'm going to put a magnet, oh come on, there we go, on the top. And this keeps the stencil on it while you're airbrushing it so it doesn't move, because if you move your stencil while you're airbrushing, it's going to get all messed up. Now, as you can see, if I put, I don't know if you can see, but if I put my finger down, like it's totally not flat in certain spots. So then what I like to do is anything that you have laying around, like I'm going to take this and just put it like that, and then that's going to hold that down a little bit. And I actually had, well, I can use a pen or the scissors, and I can just hold that down. So this way it's more flat to the cookie. So now I have my airbrush here. And I'm going to turn this on. And you always want to spray on a paper towel first. So as you can see, I've been doing cookies. And this totally just is all sprayed with different colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my airbrush. And there's 3 settings. There's low, medium, and high. I like to use it on low. And then I'm just going to shake up my color really good. And that's all you need is a couple drops. So I'm going to put like 3 drops. I'm going to test it out on my paper. And then once it comes out and it starts flowing, then I'm going to... Now when you have letters, you want to go up and down with the letter. You don't want to go across because it can underspray. And some of mine are not perfect. You get underspray a lot. It depends on how tight your stencil is to the cookie. Like actually I might even just place that there just so I can get that piece nice and flat. And then I'm just going to pull back very so slightly on the trigger and then start airbrushing just the letters. And I want to go in an up and down motion. And it's okay if some gets on the leaves because it kind of looks nice when you add the orange and you get that little bit of brown on it. So I'm just going to do the whole Happy Thanksgiving. Make sure I get that S in there. And then you just want to keep going over it until you get the darkness that you want. And make sure that all the letters are uniform. Alright, so I'll shut that off. Now, you take your little things off here. Now I usually let it dry for just a second. And then just on the one side, I will take off the 2 magnets on the top. And then you want to lift it ever so carefully. And then you have your Happy Thanksgiving. Now, this is one that's already been dried. And what I'm going to do is put this back on the cookie and try to get it to where it was. Which that actually looks pretty good. Well, maybe not over here. Let me see. And this is the time-consuming part. If you have a lot of cookies to do and you have different layers with different colors. So that looks like it's pretty much on there the way it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to turn my machine on and get all this brown out. And then I'm going to add my my sunset orange. Because now on all these cookies, I'm going to go back, put the stencil on, and I'm going to do the leaves. Which, okay, it's starting to come out orange. So now, again, to stop any of that underspray, I'll put that there. And I'll put that there. And now I'm just going to hit it like so. Shut off the air compressor. See? And there you have a nice little stenciled cookie. Now what I'm going to do with this as well is just pipe around. Like here's one I'll show you that I made already. It's just pipe around with some brown royal icing. This one I had orders for them, and this one I did not put in the order because the Y came out messed up, and there was a lot of underspray, so I really didn't like it. So these I'll give to like my mother or family members. Just happy Thanksgiving because they didn't come out good. But yeah, so that's how you spray your cookies. I also did cookies that look like this with the leaf, which is super pretty. That is this stencil here. And it just has the leaves. And then what I did with this one was I put, well, I'll show you, because now that I have the orange in the machine, put a cookie down. I'm gonna put, where did I just put that one? I'm losing my marbles. Oh, I put it back up here. So I'm just gonna put the leaf stencil, put the magnets. This one actually looks pretty flat, but I'll just add a little bit more. Stick that there, and maybe this over here. So now what I did with these was I spray painted, actually I did it in the reverse. I did the lighter color first, but since I have orange in the gun, I have 3 cookies to do like this, so I'm just going to spray the orange on some parts of the cookie, and then when it dries, put the stencil back on, and then do the yellow. So that's all that was. And then actually where the yellow and orange kind of meet, it makes like a darker color. I could even add red, I can add burgundy, you can add green. You can basically add whatever colors you want. So again, shake up your airbrush color. Put a dab or 2 in. Put the machine on low. Like I said, I have 3 speeds. I'm going to do it on low. Always shoot a little bit out of your gun first. And then just go ahead and you could do darker at the edges. Oh, this is all day long. This phone never stops. I'm shutting my phone off. I'll be back. Alright, I'm sorry about that. Alright, so I'm back. Alright, so I let that sit for a minute. I'm going to take those off. Take the top ones off and then just lift it. And see how pretty? Especially when you do a little darker at the edge. Then, like I said, I'll put the stencil back on and try to get it really perfect and then hit it with yellow. I can hit it with some red. And that's how you do stenciled cookies. So again, you put your cookie on however you want the design to be. Hold it down. They also sell something that's called the Cookie Genie, I think it's called. And it's like a pink frame. And it's 2 frames that are magnet together. And then, so you put your stencil in between the 2 pink frames and then just lay the pink frame on top of the cookie. And it keeps it totally stationary. So I think I'm going to have to order that because this is like a kind of a pain in the butt with the magnets and all. And I actually want this cookie. Let me see. Because this cookie had a little dent in it, and I want that dent to be covered. All right, so that looks good. Alrighty, so I'll put that there to hold that down. Put this here to hold that down. And then let's get ready to spray. And you always want to go up on it. You don't want to go on an angle like this so that it shoots under. You want to do it from up above. Like I said, you could do whatever colors you want. I like a little bit darker at the edges because then you'll see after I put the yellow on. See, there you go. They come out so pretty. I love stenciling cookies. It's when you have like a dozen to make for somebody and you got to do all these different colors. You got to, you know, you can only basically with the stencil maybe do 3 cookies at a time before you have to wash it, because if any gets underneath, it's going to smear all over the top of your cookie. So the only thing you do is I have a bucket of warm water right here. You just dunk it in the water. You don't even have to wipe it or with soap or anything. And as you can see with the water, it just cleans it. It just comes right off. And then to dry it, where's my paper towels? You have to be very careful when you're drying your stencils because you don't want to, you know, all these little intricate cuts. If you go, you know, really hard with it, you're going to mess them up and then they'll never lay flat the way they're supposed to. So you just want to take the stencil in between 2 pieces of parchment, 2 pieces of paper towels, and you just want to pat. And then you could turn it, and then you can pat again. Until it's totally dry, because you never want to put a damp or wet stencil back onto your cookie to do the next color, because that water will make whatever you have stenciled already just run all over the place and make a mess. All right. So again with the orange, with the Thanksgiving Day cookie, with Happy Thanksgiving, I'm just going to put the cookie. I'm going to put the stencil back on. Like I said, try to get it as even as possible. There we go. That looks good. Hold it down a little bit more. Turn it on. And yes, they are very time consuming, but I think it's worth it when you have a real pretty cookie that looks like that. Then just put them in a cello bag with a nice curly ribbon. And actually I made tags that said Happy Thanksgiving, love so-and-so, you know, who ordered them for people. So I added beautiful little Thanksgiving tags to the top as well. So there you have it. So these have to dry now before I can pipe on the other ones. And I was playing around with a couple of other stencils. Like this is a gingerbread man, but I wanted to see how my ugly sweater stencil's gonna look, because I'm gonna be doing these sweater cookies with this design in the background, which looks like, you know, snowflakes with dots and stripes. So I'm gonna do that first, probably in a silver or a green, and then do the reindeer face on top of that. I still have to do his eyes and his antlers and his big red nose. So these are going to be really cute, ugly Christmas sweater cookies for Christmas. And then I have other Christmas ones that I'm doing, but I haven't tested them out yet. So I was just trying to deal with the ugly Christmas sweater. And yeah, so that's how you stencil cookies. And I'll put pictures at the end of the video of how they all come out. And with the piping of the small circles, that's all I did was take my royal icing and made it a little bit thicker than the flooding consistency, and put it in a piping bag and cut the little tip off and just piped little tiny dots. And then you have to let that dry for a few hours before you wrap it, which I don't think I let mine dry quite enough, because when I wrapped a few of them, they, you could see at the end they got smushed. A couple on here got smushed. So, yeah, so these, like I said, will be for family members and friends that I can give out that didn't come out so nice and I really can't sell them. Alright, so that was my little video. I hope it was helpful. Like I said, I am not a cookie master. I've only just started doing cookies, but I enjoy it. It just takes a lot of time. They are very, very time consuming. So if you don't have time, at least like 6-8 hours in a day to between baking them and rolling them out, making the dough, making the royal icing, doing all this stenciling that you have to do in layers, because I only have one gun. If I had a bunch of different guns, I could load up one gun with the brown, one with the orange, one with the yellow, and just put a stencil on, do the brown, do the orange, do the yellow. But when you only have one gun, you gotta try to do all your browns first, then put the stencils back on, do your oranges, put the stencils back on, do your yellows, put your stencils back on. So it is time consuming and it's a pain in the butt, but I am going to invest in the future, if I'm going to keep making cookies, in more airbrushes. I could even just get this part and not the whole compressor part, and you take this off, put another gun on, because this has a lid somewhere, I don't know where I put it, that once you have the color in it, you could clamp it and put it on the table so that it doesn't spill. So that's what I have to invest in, more of these, because it really is a pain in the butt when you can only do one cookie at a time and it has several colors. So, like I said, at the end, I'll show pictures of the ones that I'm doing now, how they came out. But I really want to finish these up. I have a lot to do. Tomorrow's actually Thanksgiving. And, yeah, so right after Thanksgiving, I'll be posting more videos of the baby shower stuff for the baby shower, for the Winter Wonderland theme. I have, I think, 2 more projects I'm going to show. And then the rest I really can't reveal until after the baby shower, because I don't want to give away, you know, everything that I'm doing. But I am going to make a video of everything, because, you know, if I post every video, everybody that's coming to it, if they watch the videos, they're not going to be like, wow, surprised when they come in to see how everything's going to look. So I got to keep quite a few things a secret. So, alright, so that's it for today. And, sorry I'm getting to you with this video so late. I've been just swamped with other things that I was doing. And, didn't get around to making the video. So, probably tonight when I have like 2 hours, because now I got to put all the pieces of the video together. Make the thumbnail for it. You know, go into the software where I make the movie, put the movie together, edit it. You know, do the opening, do the closing, then upload it to YouTube, so it takes a long time, even just to put a video together. So, all right, so that's it for me. Let me get done with these couple of cookies here that I have. And everybody have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll see you all soon. And let me get back to work, and have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.